Hi everyone! As I promised to my subscribers, today we are returning to the print design and learn more about watercolor print. Going back to our lessons number 2 and number 4, we remember how to create repeat for watercolor print and reduce its colors to make it ready for production. But what if we are given particular watercolor print and we need to get it ready for the factory, keeping its appearance as close as possible? It's not so difficult. So let's start our lesson number 14. Let's look at the situation when you had designer bought watercolor original print as a silk and told you to prepare it to production. First, you need to scan it. Remember, the more time you spend perfecting the scan of your fabric, the less time you will need adjusting your print afterwards. You are lucky when your scanner is the same size or larger than your print. Otherwise, you have to scan it part by part. Hint number 2. Always scan parts when you piece it together, they would overlap each other. Let's start to scan starting from the top. I'd recommend the following setting. Document type reflective, the resolution 300 dpi, the screening on, dust removal on, level of dust removal high. Hint number 3. If you scan print with light background, put white cardboard or foam board on the top of silk. If your background is dark, put the black one. I'm sure you can ask design team for appropriate piece. They definitely use this stuff for presentation boards. Now, let's start to piece it together. Measure your silk. Mine is about 20 inches. Create the file with approximate size. Background is white. Open the first scan file, copy and paste it into new file. Then choose the next scan file. I will choose the next by order, scan number 2, and place it on the next layer. Now, very important part. Change the opacity of upper layer and try to combine it with lower layer design. Now we know why we are trying to scan overlapping parts. Why it doesn't match 100%? Because silk is slippery and flimsy, and it's almost impossible to insert it ideally flat into the scanner. At least steaming was a big help. So we have to distort pieces a little bit. Which one we will distort, upper or lower? Let's do both. Now, very important, go to Edit, Preference, General. Choose Image Interpolation, be cubic, best for smooth gradient. Because now you work in RGB, this interpolation method helps you avoid unwanted additional texture. Now, we are on upper layer. Go to Edit, Transform, Warp, and start to adjust layer trying to combine motifs with lower layer motifs. Not 100% perfect, it's okay. Go to lower layer, again Edit, Transform, Warp, and adjust this layer. If you are lucky, sometimes it's enough to adjust only one of them. It depends on fabric quality. The thinner and delicate fabric is the more manipulation you have to make to piece scans together. Now, even though it's not ideal, I kind of like this position. But when you go back to 100% opacity and zoom in, you still see this line. How to eliminate it? Go to upper layer, keep it partially transparent, and click on Mask. Then go to Brush tool, choose some soft round brush, check Airbrush. Click on Brush panel icon. You may check Shape Dynamic. It allows you to change brush size while you are adjusting. It makes your work more precise, but maybe more complicated. Let's uncheck it for now. Be sure you are in Mask icon, not in Layer icon. To be sure, look at the foreground, background icons. If you are working on Mask area, they are always black and white. When you click on Layer icon, they are becoming colored. So click on Mask icon. With foreground black, start to brush on upper layer. See, we can smooth this unwanted line. You can change opacity back and forth to visualize your work instantly. Why we are using mask instead of using eraser? Because with mask, if we don't like some area, we always can switch brush to white and fix this area back to original. When you achieve desirable look, which means you see no line at all, you can flatten these two layers. Just be sure both of them are 100% opacity. In the same way, you can attach the next scan file. If your seal cut too large, I'd recommend scanning it in the longest direction first from one edge, and then rotating it and scan from another edge. Combine all parts from one direction and then all parts from another direction. Now you have two vertical parts. Now combine both parts as we learned before. So now we have entire scan file as one piece. Let's check the length, 30 inches. What is the closest repeat size the factory can execute? Usually it's 25¼ or 24 inches. But as we spoke before, you have to confirm with factory the repeat size they can produce. Believe me, the last things you want to do is to change the repeat after design finalizing. So assume the factory preferable size is 24 inches. Now, go to Filter, Other Offset. Check Wraparound. Keep horizontal offset 0 and play with vertical offset, that the print edge comes somewhere in the middle, approximately. Duplicate layer 2 times. Go to background layer and fill it with white. Then go to the first layer and select half of the print from the lower edge to the join line and delete it. Then go to second layer, go to Select Inverse and click Delete again. Now you have two parts of the print on both layers. Deselect. Stay on second layer. With Ctrl-Shift-Hold, drag the second layer up almost to the end. Then go to Image, Canvas Size. Type 24. Remember, it's our repeat size. Click Anchor, tap in the middle. Click OK. Proceed. Then again, with Ctrl-Shift-Hold, drag the second layer down to the end. But now, very important, you have to drag very carefully. It has to go to the very end accurately, and please don't move it horizontally, not even for 1 pixel. Otherwise, you will destroy the entire repeat. Zoom in while you do this, it will help. So now our main task is to fix this line. You still stay on upper layer, change the opacity to 60–70% and click Mask icon. Now we can use the same method as we used for combining scanned parts, but this time we need to use our creativity because we have to create our own connection design which didn't exist before. Select Brush tool, Soft with Airbrush on. Select black and start to brush upper layer carefully. Don't rush, try to think how upper leaves can infuse into down leaves. If you don't like any area, switch to white and repair unwanted area back, and switch to black again and brush again. If some leaves don't come out perfectly, you can fix them later. When you finish as best as possible, change the opacity to 100% and merge both layers. But important, don't flatten entire image. Keep white background. Now you can use all your artistic skills and perfect your print. You can use all palettes of tools. You can use smudge or clone stamp tool, or just paint with brush, adding some new elements. Or you can copy and paste some elements from other parts of print. Isn't it cool? Now, for sure you can perfect vertical repeat. You want to check it? As we spoke before, select all, go to Image, Crop, then go to Filter, Other Offset, and start to play with vertical slider. Look, no seam at all. Now, obviously, we have to do horizontal repeat. As we want to do straight repeat, it's easiest conclusion. You're repeating everything what we talk about, but in a horizontal way. But I'd like to show you how to end up with half drop repeat, because from my experience, it always looks more attractive for the customers, for buyers, and honestly, for your boss, if you have one. So our repeat is 24 inches. As we learned in our lesson number 2, we can calculate our half drop size. Check our resolution. Let's make it more complicated. For example, 300 dpi. So now 24 multiplied by 300 divide in 2, 3600 pixels. Please see my lesson number 2 for detailed math explanation. Duplicate layer. With crop tool, expand the canvas. Move upper layer over with Ctrl-Shift-Hold. Then select all, crop, just in case. Deselect. Go to Filter, Other Offset. Keep horizontal 0 and vertical 3600, the amount we have calculated. Now we have two parts with half drop step, and we have to connect them. In the lesson number 2, we've learned how to add some elements for better transition, and you can use that method. But as I've learned, if you are given the particular silk, usually designers want to see the print as close as possible to the original, and they will catch new elements right away and may not like them. So we use another method. Change the opacity of upper layer. Click on Mask. With Ctrl-Shift-Hold, move it over to overlap bottom layer. How deep we have to overlap? There is no answer. Remember, you can choose any horizontal repeat. There are no certain rules, so make your judgment. Maybe we don't need two leaves with the same direction next to each other, so let's hide one of them. But in this case, we can reveal this leaf with opposite direction, which makes design more interesting. So again, use your creativity. With brush, try few different ways. Just remember, black hides the upper layer, white reveal it. Whatever you don't like, you can fix instantly. Finish all possible retouching. Change the opacity of upper layer to 100%. Merge layers. Make perfection with Design tool. For this purpose, we've created two parts with half-drop steps between them. Let's choose some noticeable element. For instance, this leaf. Where is another similar leaf half-dropped? Here it is. So our actual repeat is from here to here. Select it and crop. To check it, please select all, crop, go to Filter, Other, Offset 3600. Maybe there is some imperfection in the center because it was next to the edge before. Duplicate layer, expand the canvas with Crop tool. Move the upper layer over, go to Filter, Other, Offset 3600. With Ctrl-Shift-Hold, move it next to the lower layer edge. Look, no seam. Merge both layers. With Ctrl-Hold, click on layer icon and crop this selection. Image crop. Now, you finally can flatten image. Let's check the size. Vertical is 24, which is perfect. What about horizontal? 15 and 6. I kind of don't like it. As we say, there are no rules for horizontal repeat, but I prefer round numbers. It's easy for factory and for us if we decide to do some size adjustment in the future. So choose Resample bicubic Smooth Gradient and check the proportion chain, type 16. OK. Now we have a perfect half-drop watercolor repeat. How will it look on the fabric? Select all, go to Edit, Define Pattern. Create new file, maybe 285 by 285. Go to Image, Fill with Pattern. See, pretty print, watercolor design, and absolutely no seams. What is the last step to send it for production? Of course, reduce and separate colors. And we will talk about it next time. Please subscribe to my channel, like it if you still didn't, and please don't forget to check your bell. See you soon.